serious stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the imho.love show. I'm Lou Angelwolf. I'm your host, and sitting right next to me and my partner is Michael Murburg.
Hey, Lou. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man. Nice to be in your presence. And, of course, our lovely producer over here on mic number 3, it's Kathy McGuire.
Hello.
Oh, listen to that, huh? It's be a nice little way to answer the phone at the office. Yeah. What are you guys selling? Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Tan Talk Radio Network.
Just a question. Did you do happy birthday, Mr. President? I mean, I think it would be a big hit.
Actually, I do.
Actually, Kathy is a wonderful, beautiful singer. And if you go to vocal4media.com, vocal number 4 media, you'll find all about her and available for private parties and just a very, very talented young lady. Welcome, everybody in Facebook world. Good to see you. And, of course, the show is also simulcast on YouTube at tantalk1340.com. And you go to Watch Live, and you can see us here at the Magic Table. And then we're also on 3 different AMs and 3 different FMs. It is not, if you're not catching the show, you're trying hard not to. So, well, welcome, folks. This is the imho.love show. That's in my humble opinion. And here we go. What a show we have tonight for you, folks. It's I was just talking to Kathy earlier before we went on the air. And this year is a year of transition and change. 2019, everything seems to be re-scrambling. I've got, just all the things that are happening around me. There's relationships coming apart. There's people getting married. There's people getting jobs, losing jobs, moving out of the country, getting arrested. I mean, it's amazing all the changes that are going on around me.
Sounds like my life, except the getting arrested part lately.
You don't have any getting arrested people lately?
No. Talking about myself.
It's been a while since you wore the bracelets, huh, Michael?
You haven't lived until you've had a cavity search.
Yeah, I just flew on Southwest Airlines, and they got a little irate when I demanded a body cavity search. If I'm going through this, you go ahead. No, just kidding. Had a great time. I just got back. I'm a little more refreshed. That's maybe the smidge more energy I have. Just got to take a few days off and kind of unplug my brain, and had a good cry, and for the world, because it needs it. And went up and saw the Foo Fighters up there playing at the Pilgrimage Festival. 26,000 people.
Yeah, an appropriately named group too for this show.
Yes, exactly. And the Foo Fighters wowed these people, and phenomenal show. My sister, who accompanied me on the trip, is now a big fan, and life is good, and I'm back, and I'm moving. I'm changing residences. I'm moving to a condominium, and with my comedy buddy Scott Bird. So he's going to be he's going to share my place.
I'm glad you mentioned comedy tonight, because that's going to be one of our subjects. Tonight we have 2 great guests. There's going to be Carroll, who's going to be on in a couple of minutes, and she's going to give us an update as to the the frequencies and vibrations that have occurred as a consequence of Woodstock of CE5. And then we're going to have our new guest, Kimberly Marie, is going to be coming on about 7:47 or so. And one of the things that got me interested is that she and I had this conversation about humor and within the CE5 circle. And then as you know, we had a number of comedians that are involved in our group, not the least of which is you and Buddy Bolton, and we got another member who's now up in Chicago,
Steve Baird,
and Steve Baird, who kind of started our friendship, another contactee. But so it's all there. And we had one of the guys who was my CE5 or our CE5, who's up there on Second City now. So,
Wowee.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny because comedians, a good one, possesses a superior sense of humor, and we share it. And I think it's the ability to, because people laugh when logic is skewed. Okay, that's one of the hinges of laughter, when something doesn't make sense anymore. And so that's when you get that little flip over, the little chuckle, little haha. So I think that type of personal awareness lets you see through this facade, this maze that we're running around in out here, and knowing in your heart that there's something more, that this is a TV show running in the background. There's something more, and there's something bigger happening here. And that's what the IMHO show is all about, in my humble opinion. And on the phone, we have one of our favorite people, one of our favorite friends is going to join us. Welcome, Carroll.
Hello, guys. How you doing?
Real good, sweetie. Nice to hear your voice.
Thanks. Nice to be here.
Yeah, we had a big weekend last weekend, didn't we?
Very busy. Yes. Did you guys all participate in the guided meditation?
Yes, I did.
I did on Saturday. Mm-hmm.
Good.
And what?
No ships showed up, but I'm not disappointed because I spent a nice long weekend of peace and tranquility as a consequence.
Yes.
That's the best we can hope for, or one of the best.
Well,
so you wanted some sort of a follow-up to what we had happen?
Yeah. There was some early data that had come in about world vibrational frequency or something along those lines. I didn't have a chance to completely read what you had posted, but if you would kind of bring us up to speed a little bit with kind of changes that were going on as a consequence of the worldwide meditation, perhaps.
Well, first, let me say that anything that I report is my humble opinion, because I really don't have the details, because there were many things that were happening at the same time, including Maddie Roberts with the raid on Area 51. A lot of people were excited about that. But what I did see, and I posted up on the Woodstock of ET Contact page, was a chart taken from HeartMath. Now, that's the global consciousness, the data that's taken from the random number generators.
Right.
And if you look at it in the weeks prior, the readings look pretty scattered, and they don't even show consistent lines. But in the days leading up to this global meditation, it started to consolidate and become very solid, and it rose to a peak that seemed to hit around the 20th, 21st, and then slowly went back down. So I'd say, in my opinion, that we did have an effect on the global consciousness.
Yes.
And that was interesting.
Well, it's a variety of magnets pulling in a certain direction, and that energy can be directed very simply. I mean, the thing that I notice about these adventures that we're on is the more sincere the meditator is, the further and further they go. And it's like you have to ride that beam of love and innocence into this wonderful, like nirvanic type of place where you can not only, you may not make contact right there, but you're making yourself available for contact. And I'm sure that's what our star family is looking for, is that beam of innocence, that beam of open communication, and a teachable spirit. And these type of events will change the world. I mean, the vibration from last weekend will continue on out into the universe, indefinitely. So the more of this that we generate, the more familiar of a pattern we will develop with sending our energies out, sending these beautiful vibrations out. And it's something that I believe everybody should participate in. And I love the commercialization of these type of things because it lets everybody know you don't have to be special. You don't have to be kooky. You can do this in your own private time. And even the most intelligent people find the most beautiful reflections here. And it's so simple.
I don't think I could have said it better. That was really beautiful.
Thank you,
And I've noticed, even with people like our friend Buddy, that when we're playing with random number generator games, it's that childlike innocence that allows us to connect and make them work. So when we're all trying to do this with that open-hearted and open mind and just kind of letting it play itself out, that's when these wonderful experiences happen.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, humor takes us off of our toes and puts us back on the balls of our feet where we belong.
On the balls of my feet.
Yeah. It's like a punch-drunk fighter.
Well, I was going to tell you, I'm calling in from Area 62.
Oh.
They let you figure out that that's my height.
Very funny. Very funny.
Yeah.
Well, Kat, I so enjoy your posts on our imho.love page. I enjoy the posts on your personal Facebook page. It's Kat Carroll, KATCARROLL. And the links that you put up and the studies that you share with us, really, really beautiful. And thank you. I mean, they have often, triggered a theme for the show or something like that. So your input is greatly appreciated, and you sharing your personal balance and your personal progress in this area, it's very encouraging to us.
Yeah, and what was it? And Kat actually is rather creative. She gave me the line that I said to you, is that you're only young once, or something along those lines. So the people we have on here tonight, Kat and Kathy and Kimberly, all are wonderful and capable women and testaments to their gender. So I want to thank them all for being involved with lowlifes like you and me.
Well, you guys are fun all in yourself. It's really a joy to listen to the show and contribute.
We are mink-lined vermin.
I was just going to say, we know them and we still love them anyway.
It's real love.
It really is.
Real love.
You have really broken down some barriers to excuse us of our ape-like manhood.
Well, the humor thing goes back quite a way. One of when your mom experienced the UFO in the backyard, pulling water out of the well, and she invited them in for coffee.
Yes,
I think they kind of,
My mom, I'm telling you, man, she's the one that brought me here, and I'm not from here, but she invited me down, so I came. My mom, that was how I got my download. I got my download in utero. My mother's at the well. Because in the old farmhouse, they had a little bit of running water, but not all running water. And so they had the bucket and the big coffee pot out there, and they were filling them up for the morning coffee and all that. And then this huge silver craft, about 50 yards wide, hovered over. It had these red lights on the perimeter. And my mom said it was no more than a couple 100 feet away. And she looks up at them, and she raises the coffee pot to them, one of them old blue speckled coffee pots, and she says, "Y'all want a cup of coffee? I'll put on a pot." And so she greets the ETs with humor, and then she said it hovered there for a while, and then it moved over the field, then it moved back over the farmhouse, and then it took off. And both my grandmother, my nanny, and my mom, they both saw it, and they just talked about it forever. See, it's really kind of weird. I'm a little pre-wired for this. In other people's houses, in the magazine rack, there was Life, Time, Reader's Digest. At mine, there was Fate,
Mad Magazine.
Fate, Mad Magazine. I'm telling you.
One of my favorites.
That explains so much.
What, me worried?
Yeah, and Mad Magazine went away.
Yeah, but before it did, they had a picture of Alfred E. Newman in a lotus pose, basically in a state of nirvana.
Right.
So I got it around someplace. It might be on my Facebook.
That's great. We should make that a logo or whatever. But yeah, and releasing humor into the atmosphere. It's like I love being in a restaurant and hear another table laughing. Not cackling, drunken wildness, but genuine, like someone just told a great story and had a little follow-up chuckle. And that's always nice to hear humans laughing. Oh, that's why I do stand-up comedy, to hear humans laughing. But Kat, it's always lovely to have you on. Thank you for your continuous contribution. And what's next on the
on the Kat Carroll agenda?
Well, the whole group has to eat a little crow because we got so busy with trying to notify everybody to participate that we forgot to say, hey, write to us and tell us about any experiences you had. So we're asking anybody who watches the show, and let me take a step back. Costa said to say thank you guys so much for the interviews and the great support you've given us in this project.
Mm-hmm.
So just a shout out to you and to all the listeners who participated. But we are asking that anybody who had an experience over that 3 days with all the mass meditation, send in an email. His box is full, so I'm contributing one.
Okay.
And I'll give you that email address. Okay. It's eyeswideopen 1958 at hotmail.com.
Eyes wide open 1958 at where?
Hotmail.com.
Hotmail.com. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that
so if anybody had an experience, tell us about it. We want to hear. And Beautiful. I'll just filter out the ones that don't make sense and then forward them to Costa.
And that's Hotmail, HOTMAIL?
Correct.
Okay, good.
Okay, very good. Kat Carroll, thank you so much for calling in and letting us hear your voice here on the imho.love show.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks for having me.
You're
Keep
very
it real.
Oh, very welcome.
Love you, babe.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And I think we have another guest. Vaughn? Another guest? Yeah. Michael, you've been doing a great job putting the calls together and coordinating our friends. Thank you so much for that. Because,
welcome.
I've been in the popcorn machine the last few weeks.
Yeah. You've been so deep in the doghouse that I got to yank the chain to get you from the back out front again. So, but it's okay.
My hot spots are going down. But we promised you at the top of the show our next guest, Kimberly Marie. She is a Kundalini yoga instructor and a ET contact practitioner. Welcome to the imho.love show. Kimberly, how are you?
Hi there.
Hey.
Hi. I didn't know there was such a title, CE5 practitioner.
Yes.
We don't have certifications yet, but we're giving them out next week, and you're on the list. So.
Wow. How many hours or minutes does it take to be an experiencer?
It really only just takes one, but
one good experience.
See, those who know, who've been doing this, realize that there's no certification in that. So in and of itself, that's humor. But let me not digress anymore. You have a wonderful. If you talk about, I wouldn't call it a resume. Maybe you call it a resume, but you've been on this almost since day one. You've been with Greer, you've been with Rama, you've been with the Native Americans, and why don't you, for the benefit of the people who are going to be listening to this, kind of explain what your experience is, and then we're going to get into comparing some notes on CE5s, because I know you run a group in Michigan, Central Michigan, and I run a group here, and we're all kind of members here. So I think it's going to be very informational for the people that are going to be listening to this, and get them further involved in the program. And on the way in, I kind of thought it was like, hey, what can we talk about the CE5 business model? And then I realized there is no CE5 business model. If you got a business model for this, you're doing it all wrong.
Right. That's the ego. That's the left brain trying to put structure on something that's not structurable, really.
True.
Right? Yeah, you can't structure consciousness. So a little bit about my journey. Back in 2013, I had just recently left my marriage and I was on my own, and I came across Dr. Greer's Sirius documentary. It had just come out, and I was watching it on my phone, and I was absolutely riveted. I was somebody who never really got into the politics or what's in the news, what's going on in the world. I just had sort of a innate sense that it wasn't right. We weren't being told the truth, and I didn't want to be bothered with it, really. And so when I saw this film, I was captivated by it. I watched it again, and I had this profound vision of doing it. Like, I saw myself doing it and hosting a group here and working with Dr. Greer. As crazy as it sounds, I'd never thought of doing anything like that in my entire life. So how that all came together, it to this day kind of blows my mind. But in that moment, all the little parts and moments in my life, synchronicities and things that had happened, all started to make sense where it never made sense before.
Had you ever had contact before that?
Yes, I have. Absolutely. A lot of it, in fact. And I was the weird girl in my group of friends who like to talk about ETs, aliens, and hey, by the way, I have these weird lights in my room, and they've been here for weeks, and one of them slowed down, and I asked to see it. I wanted to know what it was, and it looked like a butterfly being, like I would talk like that over a lot of beer. Back then we were all still going out on the weekends and hanging out, and I was that weird chick.
Nice.
But I always had a really good sense of humor, and it's okay. I can sit and laugh at myself, and that's just the way it was. I even stopped at a psychic place. It was like a random thing. I just pulled in. I was in my early 20s, and I go in, and there's one girl there. She's younger than me, and she says, well, I do tea leaf readings. And I said, okay, let's do that. I'd never done that before. She sits there and looks at the tea leaves, and she looks up at me with her eyes all huge, and she goes, you're not from here. And she points up to the ceiling, and she goes, you're from an alien race out there. Not that means anything, but I'm still laughing about that. Like, what? That's just crazy.
Yeah.
But I did have a really fascinating experience when I was in middle school. My mom and my brother and I witnessed it. We were living in an apartment. It was all windows. We were on the 3rd floor. And up in the sky, shortly after sunset, there were 3 triangular formations of light. Mm-hmm. And they were really captivating. We watched them for over an hour.
Whoa.
But what was happening is one orb of light would shift over to another triangle, and that orb would move over to the triangle where the one just left. They were kind of switching places, but they were staying in their triangular formations. And my mom called the local airport. We lived near the Pontiac airport, and she was asking them if they were having an air show or some kind of light show in the sky. Mm-hmm. And they said nothing. They had nothing on radar.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me that your ET midget tag team match didn't come up on the radar because
I know, right? Yeah. But there was a lot of. I was very intuitive. Like, my mom had told me my father had passed away, and I was having prophetic dreams that he was alive. I told her what he looked like, where he lived. Come to find out, all of that was true. I'm just giving you an example. But being an intuitive back then and not having anyone around to mentor me, it was just me being weird. Always feeling like I'm being watched. I had beings visit me in my room. In my 20s, I had a succession of experiences. It was a sort of a cluster, a period of time where a lot of really anomalous, strange things were happening. And, I would have beings in my room, and they would be watching me or communicating with me. I would be suspended over my bed. I couldn't move, and I wasn't in fear. It was almost like a trance state, but I could communicate telepathically, ironically. I would go into this light through my window. I was on I had a memory of being on a ship, where I was in a room that was pure white. It was all curved. It didn't have any straight lines in it. It was beautiful white. And this tall being came in there, 12 feet tall, 11 feet tall. I don't know, very, very tall white being with a white robe from the neck down to the floor. And he just glided in. They don't talk, you know, we didn't have a conversation, but he came up to me, and there was something that was waved around me and in front of me, like a scan or something. I don't know. And then he left, and I decided to explore because I'm still sitting there and I don't know what to do. And so I started exploring down these corridors, and I come up to this railing and I look down, and it looked like the floors went down to infinity, and they got smaller down to like, till you couldn't see more. And it was the same way if you looked up. And then I walked some more, and there was an area on this floor where it was all trees and plants. It looked like a forest. There were flowers, and it had animal sounds, even though I didn't see any animals. And there was a sitting area, and I went and sat down by the window, and I wondered when I would be home. And the next thing I know, I woke up. And so I'm just giving you an example of some things that were going on, and I had these lights all over the place. And anyways, so that was in my 20s. And so fast forward, here I am. I see the movie, and all I can think about is how I can get on a training. And I didn't have a lot of money back then. A training came up with Mr. Martin Ellis and Serper in the UK. And a gal by the name of Alexandra Meters was facilitating the event. And I actually was looking at how much tickets were one day to go to this event. It was at Joshua Tree. And strangely, I get an email that night from Alexandra telling me that I need to be there.
Oh, really?
I never reached out to these people. I don't know how they knew that I wanted to go.
Well, thoughts carry, and sometimes, somebody will pick up on your vibe, and, you put it out there, and sometimes people pick it up.
I was blown away. And I had some visitors around that time at night that came in and were standing around my bed. I get confirmation every time I go on one of these events. I usually get messages, downloads. They'll be standing on both sides of my bed. I have a lot of experiences with sound where I get intense ringing in my ears. But what will happen is there'll be two different sequences going on, one in one ear and one in the other ear.
Okay.
Like there's been indications of that we're here and we're supporting you. So I go on this event. I don't know anybody, and I tell my friends, I'm going out to the desert, and I'm gonna make contact with UFOs. And my friends are looking at me like, "What are you doing? Are you crazy?" And they were afraid for me. Please be safe out there.
Well, right? and most people, like, you're just candidly talking about having visitors and extraterrestrials standing around your bed. As far as the movie industry has conditioned a lot of people, they'd be paralyzed. They'd be scared to death, but apparently you're receiving them with a loving heart, and they don't feel threatened.
Well, I think her life of high strangeness had already begun. So ETs are just kind of part of it. So there's so many different portals.
Yeah. I did training. I have a friend who's a teacher and a mentor. Her name is Lori Lipton. She's a shaman intuitive medium. And she does these 9-month trainings on intuition development. And I did it for 4 years.
Oh, wow.
And so I was able to do mediumship work and channel. I don't do it regularly, but I know that that's accessible to me if it's something that I want to do. True. And it's also a useful tool in being an experiencer in the field with groups of people.
Kimberly, we're in our last minute. Can you hang around? Can you hold for 6 minutes?
Yes,
because we'd love to talk some more. just hang on tight, and we'll have you back after the break. We're going to be we got break about 6 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the imho.love show, and we're helping everybody find their bees. You're finding your bees in like that No Rain video from Blind Melon.
Yeah, now let's hear from the military-industrial complex.
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
WZHR, Zephyr Hills.
FM 104.3.
Reading the transcript
Listen.
of President Trump's call with Ukraine's president on political rival Joe Biden. Democratic Congressman Peter Welsh explains what he found disturbing.
How in the world did the Director of National Intelligence not transmit this incredibly important information as he's required to do under the statute? And how in the world did Attorney General Barr issue an opinion that this was not subject matter that should come to the Intelligence Committee?
Correspondent Caitlin Collins says it's backfired on Trump, thinking releasing the call's transcript would get Democrats off his back.
And right now they're questioning where this is going to go going forward if this whistleblower's complaint comes out.
And the Senate staff Democrat Chuck Schumer called for the immediate release of the whistleblower complaint, saying the public has the right to read it for themselves. I'm Barbara Cusack. The U.S. and Japan signed a limited trade deal that will eliminate tariffs and expand market access on farm, industrial, and digital products. But the deal does not address autos, a key sticking point during months of contentious negotiations. The Food and Drug Administration is expected to stop the sales of all flavored e-cigarettes and vaping products in the coming weeks. Acting Commissioner Dr. Ned Sharpless says the FDA will require a pre-market authorization before flavors could be sold once again.
This policy would not mean that flavored e-cigarettes could never be marketed. If a company can show through an application to FDA that a specific product meets the standards set forth by Congress, then the FDA would authorize that ENDS product for sale.
Israel's president asked Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu to form a new government. This presents the longtime leader with the difficult task of breaking a post-election deadlock that has paralyzed the country's political system. I'm Barbara Cusack.
You're in charge of hiring, and Indeed has solutions, like company pages where you can get people excited about working for you. And we give you this toy monkey, which will bang its cymbals when the right resume appears. Okay, there is no monkey. I said there is no monkey! But company pages, for sure.
See why independent research by Silk Road shows Indeed delivers 3 times more hires than any other job site. Visit Indeed.com/promo to try company pages for free. Terms and conditions apply.
Tired of opening your closet and never finding what you want to wear? We can help. Stitch Fix is a personal styling service that matches you with your own stylist. Someone who listens to what you love and delivers the best clothes for you right to your door. With Stitch Fix, you'll get to discover new styles, new brands, and new looks to fit your unique shape and your budget. Discover the stylists and styles that work for you at StitchFix.com. Personal styling for women, men, and kids. StitchFix.com. Personal styling for everybody.
Don't miss the Craft Beer Hour every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. We'll bring you up to speed on craft beer events and festivals, local breweries, and interview the brains behind the brews. So grab a pint and listen to the Craft Beer Hour every Wednesday from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network, and visit the website, thecraftbeerhour.com.
If you would like to become a wholesale buyer of the premium quality longevity product that you hear about right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for personal service, you can pick up the phone right now and call Lola at 727-441-3311. Again, that's Lola at 727-441-3311. Or for even faster service, log on to tantalkhealth.com. That's tantalkhealth.com. Here's your health and longevity.
Are you looking for a job? Join me, Gene Hodge, on the Employment Opportunity Hour, Thursdays from 7 to 8 p.m., where I will tell you and share with you, as well as answer all of your questions and help you find enjoyable employment instead of a job. This is the only talk show that talks about everyone who makes up our workforce. Join me on the Employment Opportunity Hour every Thursday from 7 to 8 p.m. on the Employment Opportunity Hour.
Hi there, I'm Dr. John.
And I'm Dr. Lisa.
Do you have medical questions you never get to ask?
Now you can ask us.
After many years of caring for children and families, we've learned that the best informed families are also the healthiest.
Are you saying knowledge is power, Dr. John?
I am, Dr. Lisa, and since you're the smart one, I hope you'll share some knowledge with me and our listeners.
Let's do it.
Okay, we hope you join us every Monday at noon right here on the Tan Talk Radio Network for the Doctors John and Lisa Show.
Listen online at tantalk1340.com.
Hello out there. Tune in every Saturday at noon on Tan Talk for Connecting Caregivers with me, Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregivers. Every Saturday at noon, we will find resources, education, and a shoulder for the caregivers. I know it's tough, but we can work it out together. Look forward to you tuning in on Saturdays at noon, where you'll have tons of information. Linda Burhans, the gal who cares for the caregiver.
Hello there, Tampa Bay. This is former NFL and college football coach Jimmy Johnson. Listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can sure use the attention.
And this is former Major League Baseball player, Hall of Famer Wade Boggs. I also hope you listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They can darn sure use the money.
Hi there. This is marine wildlife artist and conservationist Dr. Guy Harvey. Please listen to the Kelly Show every Monday starting at 5 p.m. They need to feel worthy.
Don't turn it off now. You need this stuff. Tampa Bay's Tan Talk Radio Network.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. I'm Lou Angelwolf. Welcome to the imho.love show. And can you hear? I got good levels. Okay, I must have misadjusted my mic or my earphones. Anyway, well, folks, we're having a fun time here at the imho.love show. It's in my humble opinion.love. And the phone lines are open, 727-441-3000. That's the number here at the studio. And we're currently having a conversation with Kimberly Marie. She is this is kind of what I want to talk about a little bit, is the Kundalini yoga instruction. And of course, she's also an ET contact practitioner, as we have thusly named her.
Yeah, and see how it kind of dovetails. Kundalini dovetails with meditation. It's a technique I use myself, but I would like to hear more about it from her.
Very good. Kimberly, you there?
Yeah, hey.
Yeah.
Yep, I'm right here. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, the Kundalini yoga, for people that don't know what that is, can you just give me a TV guide description of what it is?
A simple version, I like to say to people, is it's a compilation of all the different kinds of yoga out there. It takes a little bit of each kind. It incorporates mantra, pranayama, which is breath work. It works with mudras, which are hand positions that move energy. Eye gaze, which has an effect on the pituitary gland. We do meditations and a lot of breathing, a lot of breath of fire in various postures. And the idea of Kundalini, it's very specific to bringing the mind into a place of neutrality. It's a healing modality. There are thousands of kriyas, thousands of meditations that are designed for specific types of healing. Mm-hmm. And it's a really, really powerful practice. Kundalini itself is an energy.
Right.
It's an energy source that is at the base of the spine. It's nothing crazy, satanic, and weird. It's innate. We all have this power pack of energy.
Okay.
And it's a dormant energy, and when it's provoked through breathing, breath practice, or through yoga, any type of yoga, it'll activate that energy to begin moving up the spine. Mm-hmm. And it moves up, and it's a central channel called the Sushumna, and it moves all the way up. And what it does is it clears, and activates all the energy centers, the chakras,
okay,
as they're called. And it makes its way up all the way up to the crown. And it gives you supreme vitality. It brings you higher states of awareness. And the practice of yoga itself in Kundalini is to prepare the body, prepare the vessel for the energy to rise gently. Nice. And so that it can really be of benefit in one's life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of the short version of it.
That's great, and I can identify with it. I can definitely picture all that happening. I can picture the flow, the vibration from your spine, and consequently, a lot of us. I mean, I have massage regularly, and the good massage therapists, they definitely work that spinal area and push upwards and get that released or get it moving anyway. And so all these things, they're all within us already. But the lifestyles that we lead, the constant sitting, we sit everywhere. I'm sitting down right now. And I'm going to get up in a little while, and I'm going to drive to my truck, walk out to my truck, and I'm going to sit again. Yes. So, and we are. Go ahead.
We're linear. Yeah. We have. If you think of the first, second, and third chakra, that's a triangle right there. If you think of it in terms of a triangle, that's your lower primal survival mechanism places.
Mm-hmm.
That's where that lives. Your fears, your power, ego. And if you take the upper triangle, the crown, the third eye, brow point, and the throat, that's your upper triangle. Those are your creative centers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think of the upper triangle as an upside down triangle, and the point comes to the heart, and the lower triangle, the point comes up to the heart, both those triangles meet in the middle, you have the heart. And that's the center point of everything. And in order to really activate the heart space and open it up and feel at the depths of your being and feel that deep connectedness to all, you want to activate that center, but you got to really get all of it lit up.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree as well. And in order to do that, in order to get any good heart chakra or crown chakra going, you got to go down to Kundalini and bring that energy up to the area of projection you want to make your contact from, whether it's crown or my preference is the heart. So, I think it's right. I wish more people would know about this and practice. I got a question. Have you ever met Marcus Schuster at all? Or do you know who he is?
No, but I've seen him on Facebook. I know he has a Kundalini CE5 page, I think.
Oh yeah, he's actually brilliant. And you two need to get together.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll reach out to him.
Absolutely. Reach out to him. He's a great guy.
Marcus Schuster?
Marcus Schuster, yes. And I'm sure we'll be getting him there. He's got his PhD, literally PhD in Kundalini.
Wow.
Kundalini yoga.
I'm sure he does.
Gotta love that guy.
So, well, a lot of people don't understand too is that yoga is not just young women wearing yoga pants, but it's a philosophy of life as well that really comports well.
But that's the best part.
Well, come on, here, stop. Come on, stop being the angel wolf. We need the Lou back. We need the Lou back.
Benefits.
Dude, yoga pants are a blessing from God.
We're all grateful for yoga pants. I can speak for myself, especially as you get older. It's a fast track to developing consciousness and healing what needs to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
To me, it's the Rosetta Stone. It's a game changer personally in the world and in the realm of contact.
Right. I don't think you can do contact right without it being able to do Kundalini yogurt. Kundalini yogurt. I should have dinner tonight.
Kundalini yogurt?
I like that.
Kundalini yogurt would sell, brother.
Kundalini yogurt really sounds amazing. A little bit of almonds and blueberries. I'm just saying right now.
Wow. We're going to have to come up with a recipe.
Oh, wow. Hey, great idea.
Yeah.
But hey, what I wanted to get into, look, you were at Joshua Tree with Martin Ellis early on, and you were Greer Joshua Tree, and then with Greer and Vero Beach, and these are like famous people with famous contact works that are happening here, especially Greer at Vero Beach, and then you were with Enrique Villanueva, who is marvelous and brilliant, and you were with him in 2016, and with Rama, and with him in 2017, 2018, 2019. So you've got a track record of being around some really gifted people who got this either started or have advanced the science or the art and technique of human-initiated contact experiences, other than anybody else. You know, for those who don't know about this yet, this is a spectacular curriculum vitae. So I'd like you for a little bit to talk about, you know, what you learned. You know, we could go on for hours here. So let's just kind of use this as an introduction to your first visit here, and hit on that a little bit, and then we'll take it from there, if that's okay.
What exactly do you want me to talk about? What it's like to work with these people and what I've learned?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Dr. Greer was really my first mentor, so to speak. I learned so much from him, and I was really nervous to go and do a contact training with him. But I really was quiet. I intuited the experience the week. I wanted to be as helpful as I possibly could. I really wanted to just be connected with him in some way through that process, and learn as much as I could. And I had a great experience out there for my first week with him and the group of people. I feel like when I'm around him, my contact experiences are elevated significantly. It seems like when you're with, and I hate to use the term prime contactee, but somebody who is really, really adept at it, that vibrates that strongly, it really elevates everybody. And it was in those spaces that I was really having light shows and hearing changes in the sounds of the animals and just having some wild experiences. And it furthers my development for a long time once I go home. And so Dr. Greer, I turned around and wanted to go to the Vero Beach training, and I was told that it was full. I was really bummed out. I wrote to Anna Kramer, and I just said, I am willing to do anything. If you need an assistant, anyone to help out, you know, I'm here.
Okay.
That was my last ditch attempt, and within weeks I got a response saying that he would like for me to assist him. And so I was nervous again, but really once I got there, I was fine. I had an incredible experience there. I found that if I tuned into his energy field, we would go for a walk on the beach every morning, and he would talk, and you know, the sun would be coming up, and I would connect with him energetically. And if I did that, I was able to read him before, you know, I was right there for whatever he needed. And doing the puja with him, I fell in love with the puja. I love that ceremony, that honoring, and that clearing of energy. I did that. So that was a phenomenal experience. We had the twin ship sighting there, and I met several people, Ricky Butterfast and Marcel, who I found out lives in the next town over here in Michigan, which was great. I was there with Mark Sims and his girlfriend, and anyways, and we're always making new friends and becoming family. So that was amazing. And I haven't been back to a Greer expedition because frankly, I just can't afford it. I went into a lot of debt that first year. It took me a while to bail myself out of that. It's this yearning from my heart that's so profound, so powerful, that I, in those earlier years, was willing to do anything to get to those trainings and to be with those people. Yeah, then I had to kind of pull back a little bit and, you know, realize I needed balance at home as well. Working with Henry.
I understand the cost factor there. There are a lot of people out there that see this. They say, oh my God, I can't afford $2,900 to go and join with 30 other people out in some other place and pay for my own food and lodging, which is one of the reasons that, you know, the 3 years ago I started my own CE5. Matter of fact, I was so broke at the time, you know, he was, Greer was selling his DVDs for $249. I was like, no, wait a minute, I can't afford $249. So I went on the internet and I just listened to everybody else. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people out there that have their contact videos, and you know, develop my own protocol and you know, continue to fine tune it, but use what works. It's, you know, Costa Macraeus and I are really believers in the democratization of CE5 and human-initiated contact experiences, and simplify it as much as possible so as many people can do this and make contact. It doesn't have to be, I know you love the puja ceremony, but it doesn't have to be esoteric bowl rubbing and chanting, and it can be. So the key is if you find your family, go with it. What works for you, that's great.
Exactly.
But you don't have to. And if you run into people like, primes or antennae, like, our group, we have so many primes and antennae, and it's just remarkable. It's only when we have a cookie lady show up that we don't have any ET show up. So
that is one thing. And I love our open format, but every once in a while a little tumbleweed blows through.
Well, and we start cutting up, and it's kind of funny because we start cutting up in the field, and we have people cut up on each other too. I mean, there's we have a bunch of comedians show up who should be on stage and aren't, and then once we just relax and start cutting jokes and stuff, then we've been in this peaceful mood for a while. Nothing's happening. We all relax. We realize that we're there, and there's no guarantee of anything. And all of a sudden, pop, 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 out of nowhere. There they are. It's kind of like they heard us and they want to be a part of this. So,
sure. Well, and like I said at the top of the hour, what we're doing is that I always think of that video from Blind Melon called No Rain. In fact, Kathy just posted it up there on a little bit, and it's kind of like those of us who have had these kind of things going on their whole lives, or had that real inquisitive spirit, but thought we were kind of odd. We're finding our own bees. The group is the girls. She auditions as for a bee part, and they don't like her, so she's sad. But she goes off on an adventure, and she finds her bees. Just people just like her, and everybody is happy when you find your own bees. And it's the thing that is discouraging about this. It's so. I mean, I get confrontation about it from several sides of my life, and I really don't care. I mean, if that's what you think, that's fine. You don't think for me, and nobody else does, and you don't have my heart, you don't have my spirit, you haven't done what I've done. And so the fact that we're able to unite with those maybe we'll just call us particular people that have experienced these things and that have a thirst for this type of experience. Hey, when you've watched every TV show, when you've watched every mini series, you've been to the movies 9 times in a week, and you're still not entertained, you're barking up the wrong tree. You really need to create some of this for yourself, and just go from a more organic base to let yourself be entertained.
Yeah. And once you have an experience, once you get into the field and get in circles with people, it'll never leave you. It's really magical because you're connecting with one another. You're connecting with your nature. And that's to me, that's something we're all craving, is connection.
Sure.
Yeah. And I wanted to go back a little bit about Greer and the money and everything. Back then there really wasn't a lot else going on yet.
Right.
It was pretty quiet. But it did quickly start to pick up, and more people got on the CE5 initiative, and then you see teams popping up here and there, and now it's unbelievable. And we are making it our own. We're putting our groups together, and we're putting in our hearts to whatever it is that brings us joy, and we're coming together under that spirit, and that's what's amazing about it. You don't have to do it a certain way.
Yeah,
right. I agree.
And at least for me, there's no charge for admission in the CE5 groups that I'm involved with nationally. Charge enough for the rental of the ranch for the week that you're going to be there, and then that's it. There's really no lucre involved. Hey, Kimberly, I just wanted to ask you. One of the things, we were talking about, people sitting out in the field, and all of a sudden they have a craft or an entity show, and but they're sharing their love and spirit to begin with. But when somebody asks me, hey, how do you know you've really made contact? I always say the most reliable thing is when you see something and your heart jumps out to meet it for some kind of reason, then you know you have made contact because of what's going on. That is the ultimate common denominator for ET and HIV. and human beings who are put themselves into this place where they can experience the contact, and they grow as a consequence of it, and they become more spiritual. And the more spiritual they become, the easier contact becomes. The more people they bring in, and it's kind of like, if I could tell you that I could show you the face of God, all you got to do is show up on a Saturday night, 8 o'clock in the field with me. Would you come out to meet God and see the face of God? Well, that's exactly what we do in our own special way, but we don't call it God. We're connecting with the ultimate creator through these beings who operate on the same frequency and wavelength.
Yes. That's what makes your heart jump, is the fact that they're vibrating at a frequency that we're not used to. But there are those of us who have that enchanted spirit that are very willing to experience it. So, hey, Kimberly, it's been really great speaking with you, and thank you for all your reports and everything.
We could do this for like hours here. We need to have you back. You promised to come back.
I would be happy to come back anytime.
Wonderful.
That's great. Thank you. That was Kimberly Marie. Thank you so much. And we have another caller holding.
Okay.
And
let's bring it on. Maybe it's the crackhead from out.
No, I don't think it is.
Cell phone.
I don't think it is.
not.
I don't think it is.
Not.
Hi, welcome to the imho.love show. Who am I talking to? Hello?
Hello. Ground control to Major Tom. Are you there? Are you there, Major Tom?
No?
No.
Did we lose it? Is Kim Marie still there?
I'm right here. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm here.
And the other line just went away? Okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, never mind. We'll just go back to where we were.
We lost Major Tom. I'm sorry.
So Kimberly Marie, I put in the also in the comments section that people can reach out to you regarding your CE5 group in Central Michigan, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your meetup group. Yes.
And how would they
I have
do
a link
that?
there.
We have a meetup group. It's called UFO Human Initiated Contact.
Mm-hmm.
And UFO Human Initiated Contact.
Yeah.
And then I also, Marcel and I also have the Brighton CE5 page on Facebook.
Okay.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. Okay.
Yeah, and I can give you my email too if somebody wants to reach out on that.
Sure. What is it?
As well. Yeah, it's Kim, KIMPORTH, Horse, @gmail.com.
Very good.
And Kimberly Marie on Facebook, I can be private message through there as well.
Very good.
And for those who don't know, to do a meetup, you have to download the meetup program, and then you search for UFO Human Initiated Contact, and then you will find them.
Yeah. Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yep.
Well, once
that's
again,
great. And if they have a hard time getting on there, they can private message me, and I'll guide them on there.
okay. Well, thank you once again, Kimberly. Thank you very much. Okay.
Thanks for having me, guys.
You got it. Did we get our caller back?
Thank you, Kim.
Okay. Hi, welcome.
Hi, guys.
Hi, and to whom are we speaking?
So my name is B.
You're breaking up. Go off a speakerphone and put it up to your ear.
I am off. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So here's my question to you all.
Okay.
So, I am a friend of your show.
Okay.
And I'm kind of new to all this stuff.
Okay.
So I can see that I believe that there is definitely life beyond our Earth, and that
Sure.
I kind of believe in what you guys are saying.
Okay.
And I'm not trying to be a skeptic, and I believe in what you guys are saying, but you guys are so far advanced and talking about things that, as somebody who's trying to find out where my place is, what is your advice as to where we start? Because I do believe that there is life outside of this earth.
Well, that's a fantastic question. Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, what that is, what you're experiencing internally is, the big picture hasn't come into focus for you.
And the search for truth.
And it's what, and if you've listened to the show for a while, you'll find that Michael and I, we're conspiracy analysts. We question the things that the government tells us. We question all of the media sources, and we pretty much after several years of debating this, that almost all of the information that you're hearing about anything is it's diluted, it's slanted, and it's in a package. Okay, now, so discarding all your earthly information, we started looking outside. We started looking for extra terrestrial input, and we found that the best way to approach this is with a very humble heart and a very teachable spirit, because obviously we're dealing with a superior intelligence. So we got to give them their, give them their kudos, and you kind of got to get to the bottom of yourself. That's why the yoga and all these other things kind of all come into play.
A couple of things. What you might want to do is check.
I thought you were going to say you go for a minute. Wasn't that a car?
Bought one. Done that. What you might want to do is go online and purchase the book Beyond UFOs. It's a book produced by the Foundation for Extraterrestrial Encounters and Extraordinary Experiences. A bunch of scientific eggheads from Harvard and MIT and Cornell and that kind of stuff. And you can also contact me at darbyranchce5@gmail.com, and I'll send you a protocol. And if you order them both, you will be light years ahead of where you are now, and you'll understand what the reality is, and you will work your way through what would otherwise be ignorance. And we are here to help. So I'm glad you called in. Anything we can do for you to bring you to a point of wanting to have contact and wanting the peace that comes with it and the spiritual evolution, we're part of that. So we will do anything we can do to help. So thank you for calling in.
Thank you very much. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've used up a whole hour. This is the imho.love show. Lou Angelwolf, Michael Murburg, Kathy McGuire. We're saying good night, and we'll see you next week, next Wednesday at 7:30.
Peace, y'all.